having lived born in Detroit, raised in Arkansas, educated in college on the East Coast, got graduate studies back in the Midwest, began working professionally in the South, Southwest, and eventually on the West Coast. So, my planning experiences are varied because all of those areas are different. But one thing for certain that has always been with me is my parents, my grandparents' instillment of religion and the church. And as I engage in planning in all of these areas, I've often thought about the impacts that we can do as planners with institutions, with our faith-based institutions. And as we were preparing for this National Planning Conference, I submitted a proposal to APA National looking at specifically black churches in South Los Angeles and asking the question, since this revitalization is occurring and has occurred, and for those of you that will be attending the Taste of Soul, you will see new development activity occurring in our communities. Is a lot of this development spurred by the activities of our churches? And so this is a question that hopefully after this presentation, you will have a better sense and idea. So let's get into the presentation. Are black churches the economic catalyst for reviving South Los Angeles? Whenever we go to these planning conferences, it's important that we look at the location where we are convening, where we're meeting. Oftentimes we get presentations that do not necessarily speak to the current environment. And as you're traveling around, you're thinking, how does this impact this community that we're in? And so this is specific and actually includes the area that we're in now. This is considered a portion of South Los Angeles. Traditional planning departments, for those of us that work in municipal government, are victims of the economic recession. We know that many of our colleagues are without jobs. Many directors have experienced decreased staff. I ran a department just 2 years ago of about 13 to 14 employees, and we're down now about five or six employees. But certainly, in and around the area, planning departments in general have had a reduction in their resources by about 35% within the last 5 years. Now, you can imagine if just in general these planning departments have experienced such a decline in their resources and their revenue, imagine what that impact is in communities of color. So you can multiply that by 2, and maybe in some instances 3, whereas the resources are spread, even thinner throughout the area, and where black communities were neglected in the past, they're really neglected in the future and currently. Municipal governments, I surmise, must find ways to partner with others to carry out planning initiatives. Now, as planners, this is something that we're taught. This is something that we understand. We are first to say we don't do planning behind our desk, or at least we should not be doing planning behind our desk. The tenets of community planning is to make sure that you take the information and give it to people so that they can have information and make informed decisions. But in some regards, many municipalities and many public policy makers still continue to operate behind the desk and do not allow the community to have the information to make informed decisions.